Hello, welcome to day 2 of Plan Z Coronavirus e-learning for robotics. Today's lesson is going to be how to use Excel to create your very own Gantt chart. We are not using Excel to create a chronological timeline of what you did in the shop. We're merely using those 10 tasks that you created last assignment as an individualizing agent for this Excel sheet. Everything else is going to be exactly the same as the video or as mine, except you will use your individualized 10 tasks. So let's begin. The first thing I got to do is create some cells. I got to use project name here. I'm going to say project duration. And then I'm going to say project start date. And then the last one is project end date. Okay, boom. Now I'm going to highlight all 4 of those. Actually, I'm going to select above all those cells, select all the columns, and double click right here, and that will pop them to the right size. I'm going to make these have a fill. I want them to be like an orangish fill, okay, maybe a little darker. Boom. Change them to white. And you know what? I think this one I want to be a little bit smaller. So I want these to kind of pop down. So I'm going to use this wrap text function, and it will, boom, pop them down. But now they're kind of over to the left, so I'm going to change that alignment to the middle. Boom. I'm going to change this to the middle like that. Okay? So now, and you know what? They're a little small, so let's just make them a little bit bigger and bold them. And then again, I'll select all of those columns, double click, and make sure they are the size that I want. Whoops. Well, this is a little slower, but this will work. Boom. I also want to put some borders around there. I want to select all borders, so these are now bordered and look pretty. Okay. I'm going to title this project name Robotics Tasks. Okay. This is going to be empty for now, and this I'm just going to say May 1st. Yeah, kiddo. And then this will be May 26th for now. Okay? Yeah, kiddo, I'll open that for you. Boop. How does that make you feel?
Happy.
Happy? There you go, kiddo. Alright. These I want to match. I don't want to change the fill. I want to change this font to match that. I also want to make it bold and a little bit big. And then select that. Boom. Whoops. There. Coolio. Okay. Next thing I gotta do is come down here and create my task IDs. This is task description. Task duration. And start date. End date. And that's it for now. Okay. And then I'm just going to put 1 and 2. I'm going to highlight both of these, and down here at this bottom right, I'll just pull down, and it'll just automatically populate all the way through 10. Okay, and then again, I'll do this, wrap that text, so it pops down, and then I want to align it to the middle of both the middle and the middle of the horizontal. Same with these. I want these to be in the middle of the cell. Okay, and then again, I will do the cell change. This time I want what looks like dark green with a white font color. Boom. Again, I'll have to create the boundaries. Boom. Okay. Alright. Let's turn on caffeine. There we go. Alright. Alright. So, now all I gotta do is enter my task descriptions, which is design drivetrain. Again, these are just ones I used from my last thing. Design drivetrain, cut parts for drivetrain. I'm just going to use DT from now on. Weld drivetrain. Assemble drivetrain. Attach indexer. Attach indexer. Test. Oh wait, did I miss one? Attach intake. And again, yours will be different. test all 3 systems on field. See now how that's too far, so I'm just going to double click that middle and it pops to. Redesign intake. I'm not saying that happened, I'm just saying this would be a logical system of events. And then redesign, reattach, intake, and attach shooter. Boom. Now task duration is I'm just gonna use the exact same numbers from his video, not the numbers that I chose last time. Because the whole point of this is to show you how to use Excel to create a Gantt chart and not to chronologically dictate what you did during build season. So I'm gonna not use real numbers. I'm just gonna use the numbers that he used in his video. And starting at the top, 4, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1. Again, I don't really care what numbers you use as long as it falls within a month. Because the other part of this will be to... Oh, I gotta change these to white. The other part of this will be to change those, and your Gantt chart will change as well. So, I'm just going to use May 1st. Cool. I'm going to change this format because I want a different format. I want to include date. I want to include the year. So just like his video, I'm going to go down here until I see March 14th-2012. Even though that's not the right date. That's the format it's going to use. Okay. I'm going to copy that format here and here. Boom. And I can just, this little paintbrush is a format painter. Boom. Except now, I have a different format color, so I'm just going to go up here and change my color. Back to dark green. Boom. To match these. Yay. Ooh, let's make these bold and a little bit bigger. That looks easier to see. Alright. And then here, I'm just going to go ahead and say, look, if it starts on the 1st, my end date should equal the start date. So I selected this cell, and I'm going to add the duration. Boom. Format paint. Hot dang. And we're done there. Okay? Now this should equal the start date for the next task. Can't start until that task is complete. So we'll go ahead and say it's equal to May 5th. But since I ended on May 5th, I want to add 1 extra day. Boom. Okay? And then all these are going to be the same. So every time I have a start date, I'm going to add these 2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this formula, grabbing this bottom right square and make that plus, drag it down, and boom, it took May 6th, which is based off this, plus 1, and added the duration, which is here. You can see that in this formula. And if I do that the whole way down, it'll just keep doing it. But notice there's no start dates yet. So I'm going to go ahead and add start dates. Boom. And that populates. If I change the start date, everything else changes to match. Pretty cool. Notice these aren't the same, so you're right. Good job. I'm going to come down here and paint those. And if that happens, where this is those number signs, those hashtags or pounds, just come up here, make it a little bit bigger. You can also make it bigger manually if you like. But if you double click it, it will snap too. I also like these to be in the middle, so it looks nicer. And this one, I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and wrap the text. Okay? Oh, come on. Do it manually then. Let's wrap that text too. Alright, so that solves that problem. The next thing we have to do is add the timeline that will be our Gantt chart. So, this is pretty simple. It's going to be something you've never done before, so we're going to do it together. Just like before, I'm going to take the start date, which is May 1st. Okay? I want to format copy that. Boom. Except now I don't want that. I'll use a darker, or maybe a lighter. Let's use this orange. What? Let's use this one. What's wrong, kiddo? The money is chocolate? That's crazy.
I had to open it.
You had to open it to find it?
Yeah.
That's really cool, kiddo. Alright. Let's do red. And let's use white for a font. Alright. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to right click format cell. So I'm going to right click the cell. Format cells. I'm going to go to alignment. I'm going to drag this all the way up. So it's 90 degrees. 0 is horizontal, 90 degrees is vertical, and it's going to look like this. Boom. Okay, now notice, that's too big. So we're going to do that. Boom. And we're good there. Okay, I also want that to be centered. Cool. There. And then, again, I'm just going to drag this because I want them to add, and every time I move it, it will add all the way down to the end of the month. Okay, so let's go into, like, let's do June 1st. Okay, and then we'll grab all of these. Remember, the top, double-click one of them, they all snap to. Pretty cool. I'm going to drag all of these because I want them to have borders. That way I can clearly see them. And then the fun stuff. So this is a really cool equation that we have to use. We're going to use an if function. He explains it really well in the video, but just in case, I'm going to do it here too. So I'm going to hit equals to create a formula. Okay? And then I'm going to say if. I'm going to use the if formula. Hit tab. So then it creates a, it's going to show me what to do. The first thing I want to do is a logical test. I'm going to do and. And's a logical test. Hit tab. Then I get the logical test 1. Well, the first thing I want to test is if this cell...
There's a lot of chocolate.
There's a lot of chocolate? Yeah, good job, kiddo.
And money.
In the money? Wow! That's crazy. Who did that? Alright, so I want to test to see if this value is greater than or equal to my start date, comma. There's another thing, because an AND requires 2 true things. I also want to know if my... what is it? If this cell is less than or equal to this cell. Okay? So far so good. And then if close that parenthesis because that closes my AND logical test. Then I want to if that's true, okay? Now I hit comma, I'm in my true if true value. So that's saying if this statement's true, if it is between those two values, what I want to do. I want to declare an X value. In fact, I want it to be uppercase. Okay? If it's false, I don't want anything, so I'm just going to do nothing. Boom.
How do you eat it? How do you eat it?
Oh, I forgot the end parenthesis. There. Hold on.
Daddy, look.
Yes, kiddo. Oh, wow! Alright. And we'll go ahead and say I want all of these to be here in the middle. Great. Now, before we can copy this over, there's a couple of things I have to do. I have to go back to this and reread this. Okay. I have to lock a couple of my columns because before, when I did this one, okay, everything's relative. So you see how it's D6, now I'm in D7, D8. It knows that I want to keep going down and adding the things above me. This is not necessarily the case. I want to lock some rows and some columns. I do that using a $sign. Okay, so this $sign is how I do that. So I'm going to incorporate this into locking some rows and columns. I got to be very strategic about this. So the first column I want to lock is row 5. I want all of this to be locked for row 5. Okay. The next thing I want to do is I want to lock column D. I only want to be looking at column D. Okay. I don't want that moving on me to lower columns. Okay. The next thing I got to do is lock row F. Again, because just like before, row 5. I want to lock row 5 just like the other conditional, and then, you guessed it, I want to lock row D. I don't want those changing as I move this formula throughout my Gantt chart. Okay? And that's it. Hit enter. I'm going to come down here, I'm going to hit OK. Or not OK, just hit enter. Come down here to this little plus sign, drag it all the way down. Okay? And then drag all of those all the way across, and boom, it populates for us. Okay, and that's the most difficult part of this. Okay? 2 more steps. Wow, you got chocolate all over your face, huh? Yeah. Alright, kiddo, hold on. I'm almost done. Alright, so now I'm going to take all of these. I'm going to do a conditional formatting. All of them. You're right. Good job, kiddo. You think you can do this? I'm going to do a conditional formatting. I'm going to highlight if equal to, and I want if it's equal to, well, what's the value in the cells? X, that's right, good job. X, you're right, kiddo. Format, I'm going to format my color to be the same. So I want a dark, let's do a dark red. Why not?
Dark red?
Dark red, okay?
Why
and then I'm going to
not
fill,
red?
why not? And I'm going to pick the fill to be exactly the same.
I want water.
That way, that X is still there. If you look at it, the X is still there, but the fill is different. So they match, you can't really see them. You want water?
Mm-hmm.
All right, hold on, kid. I'm almost done. Okay, actually, you know what? Let's change these to green because it's kind of messing with my eyes. So I'm going to go back to conditional formatting. I'm going to manage my rules. Oh, here's a rule. I'm going to change this format to be font color. Let's use the same green we used over there. Green here. Boom. There. And we have a Gantt chart. Now, if I change these durations, my Gantt chart's going to change. Okay? Does that make sense? Excellent. The last thing we got to do, and then we're done, is to I want my start dates and my end dates to be based on my tasks. So when I start my tasks, I want to start my day because we don't know when this virus is going to be over. So we want to be able to adjust when we can start. Okay, and I don't want to adjust it in two places. So I'm going to do it in one. Wherever my start date is for my original task, that's what I want this to be equal to. So I'm going to go to cell D2, which is our start date cell. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to hit equals. I just want it to equal this one. Okay, pretty self-explanatory, but that's pretty easy. So let's make it a little bit more difficult. I'm going to say equals. I'm going to say the min of all of these values. Okay? So it's going to take the minimum of all of those. And just like you thought, I'm going to take this and say the max of all of my end dates. Boom. And that will give me my min and my max. Because watch what happens if I change this to 2 days. Now I'm above a month. Okay? Change that back. And then my project duration would be the range between my min and my max. Just like normal math. Okay? So I'm going to say equals. Well, there is no range function, but I know it's simply just my end date minus my start date. This project, as of right now, will take me 30 days. And that's it. Now all you got to do is save this, upload it. So you're going to File, Save As, anywhere on your desktop. Okay, I don't really care. Call it last name. Okay, so your last name. Well, let's do first initial, last name, and then Robotics, Gantt chart. Boom. Saved my desktop, and then that is what I'll upload to Canvas. And that is due Friday. I'll be grading it on Monday, so you'll have the whole weekend to do this. If you have questions, please feel free to ask me. I will be home with my daughter for the next month and a half, maybe. We'll find out together. I will, on another note, I'm filming this right now at 1:51 on Thursday. I have a phone conference with Indiana First to see how they want to move forward with the season after this whole thing is over. And I will be emailing everybody once I have some details to pass along. So again, that phone call will happen tonight at 6:30. So once I have that, you guys will get an email from me stating it. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks, guys. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're playing Minecraft and everything. I'm playing a whole bunch of Battlefield right now. So